everyone, welcome back to my channel once again, and if you haven't already started doing this, I am begging you, if you have the monster, start doing this right now. Start breeding this monster, and the monster that I am talking about is Nightingale. The Nightingale breeding event is on right now in the game, and currently there is 1 day, 13 hours and 41 minutes remaining. Now, to breed Nightingale, you'll be needing Taney and Armor Claw, or you could substitute either of those monsters with either Cat UFO or Knightingale, depending upon which monsters you are lacking. Remember, if you breed the two jokers together, you won't be getting this monster. And the reason I'm asking you to do that is because Nightingale is out, and this is also her analysis video as well as the breeding event video. So yeah, be sure to stick till the very end so that you know all of the skills and why I'm actually recommending this monster. First of all, why should you get this monster? Number one, because this monster is readily available and you can get this monster, and there's a high chance that you get this monster are either 3 other legendary monsters that are Synapticus, Master Scale and Octix. So if you breed any of these monsters, you'll be getting this, and there's a high chance you may get Nightingale. So spend those gems on this breeding event and be sure to rank up Nightingale as much as you can, because this monster is really good and she belongs to the mythic category, and it will be a very good addition to your mythic monsters, as well as a very good addition to your war setup or your PvP setup or whatever you want to improve. So right now I do not have any of the monsters, sadly, because I quit the game in the middle and I do not have, so I'm just preparing for the race and preparing for Illion's Tale event. I am doing perfect collections right now, as you can see. Now I will be getting Illion, thankfully. As you can see, I have the gems required to get Illion. And as for Nightingale, I was lucky and some of my team members are planning on purchasing some gems, so I am getting Nightingale cells. Currently I have 50 of those and I'm hoping to get 50 more so that I can at least craft this monster. So now I will be discussing the analysis on Nightingale, so let me just shift to the screen and we'll discuss those skills. So guys, in front of you I have Nightingale skill set and skill sheet. So basically first we'll be covering the stats, then we'll be going over the trait, the relics, the books, then we'll be finally coming to the skills. So at level 100, the life of Nightingale is 48,256, a little on the low side for mythics, but again very usable indeed. Then for power we have 5,896, a very good power considering this monster is an attacker, and the speed is 4,752. Again, a pretty decent speed for a mythic attacker, and I am living for it. Then as for the trait, we have at rank 0 Harden. Again, a very good trait for any kind of monster to have. Harden, Tough, Bulwark, any of those traits are very useful because they reduce the chances of effects and attacks landing on you, which is very important in this day and age where a lot of things have become really common, especially DOTs, which are damage over time, such as Curse, Sunburn, Blind, etc., whatever you want to call them. And at rank 1 she has bleed immunity, and at rank 3 she has self damage boost. So this is your chance to get this monster at rank 3, rank 4 or rank 5 depending upon the gems you have. So be sure to breed those Nightingales and to extract as many as you can and rank up. And as for the relics, we have sword, so basically a double sword combo. And for this attacker, I really am in agreement with these sword. Now you have lots of great swords out there, Jakugan sword, Cane sword, and a lot of good swords out there. So basically, if you have the diamond swords, run on this monster and deal some extra damage. Or you could also run some of the swords that remove stamina. So yeah, you could run all that as well, so that it also has a bit of a deny capacity on here along with the attacking capacity. And as for the books, we have superheroes, female and winged. Now I am a little confused about the winged, but I think she has wings or a type of cape, so I'm guessing she is from the wing category as well. Superhero, definitely this monster looks like a superhero. And as for female, she is a female. So yeah, the books are pretty accurate as well. Then I think I have gone over the skills in my previous video, so you can go check that out as well, or you can stick here and I'll be discussing all of the skills with their cooldowns and cost, etc. From what I am saying, this monster has a lot of skills that have very low stamina cost on all of its moves, or at least some of its moves. So let's read about it. So the first move is your worst nightmare. Deals low dark damage to all enemies, applies nightmares to all enemies, and this is a 24 stamina AoE, which is pretty decent, but the damage is very low, which is 25. Usually AoE skills have a 45 damage output, which is useful, but right now I'm not seeing this. so I would or would not recommend this depending on the how the other moves are. Moving on, we have body acceleration, removes all negative status effects from itself, applies stamina regeneration to itself, requires cooldown. Now I think this move could have been improved, but this move is pretty good on itself as well. If this move had an extra turn, this could have been very useful, because you could have used this move in conjunction with the extra turn skills which are coming right up. So this is a 2-turn cooldown move with 0 damage and a stamina cost of 26. Now removal of negative effects is really important, as I said, because a lot of tortures are becoming really common, as well as a lot of DOT, as well as lots of deny skills, as well as a lot of debuff skills, so that could be very important to remove them. Then we have, for tier 2, we have Dream with Freddy. That is a heavy dark damage to one enemy, applies nightmares to one enemy, and deals 50 damage and costs 49 stamina. So yeah, a really good single target attack, and I would recommend this move. Then for tier 2, we have the second move, which is X Scratch, deals more dark damage to all enemies, requires cooldown. Now this is the AoE that I would consider running, because the damage output is increased, and as you can see, the stamina cost is also increased, which is 43 stamina, and it deals 30 damage to each of the enemy monsters. Moving on to tier 3, we have Twilight Wings, deals moderate special damage to one enemy, gains 1 extra turn to itself, requires cooldown. Now this costs 33 stamina to run and deals 35 damage to one single monster, and has a 95% accuracy. So yeah, this monster has an extra turn skill. Now you could be using these extra turn skills, since the meta is shifting away from the legendary monsters, and not a lot of mythic monsters have the anticipation trait, and I think that none of them have it right now except 1 or 2. So correct me if I'm wrong, but right now you can run this in conjunction with mythic monsters, with monsters that have the Megaton ability. And then for tier 3, the second move is Cutting Feather, that deals low special damage to one enemy, gives 1 extra turn to itself as well, requires cooldown. Now this move has a 1-turn cooldown, and the other move has a 3-turn cooldown, so these cannot be used again and again. So then we have the ultimate, which is Moon Jump, deals heavy physical damage to all enemies, applies stun to all enemies, and deals 45 damage, and has an accuracy of 120%, and the stun on top of the damage is really good, but the special doesn't trigger often, so we would be considering that. Now for my recommended moveset, I would recommend both of the tier 3 skills, because they have extra turns and they deal a decent amount of damage, and since this monster is an attacker, you would be running her with strength runes and with a team speed or speed runes, so you could be running this monster like that. And on top of that, it has 2 sword relics which will deal extra damage as well. So yeah, those 2 extra turn skills will be pretty handy, and yeah, you could be switching those in and switching those out depending upon the situation, whether you have anticipation monsters or not. There are a lot of anticipation monsters in the dark category. The most notable is the Forsaken monster in Israel, so be sure to check for that monster before you run this monster as well. Then I would recommend X Scratch, that deals moderate dark damage to all enemies, and then I would be recommending Body Acceleration, that removes all of the negative effects, simply because those have become really important as well. You could also run, instead of that, Dream with Freddy, that deals a heavy dark damage to enemies and applies nightmares as well. So that is depending upon the situation, what kind of monster you face, what is your enemies facing. So yeah, that is it for my analysis on Nightingale. Again, start breeding, get this monster right now, start ranking this monster up, and if you have this monster at rank 3, you have an extra damage boost as well, so that could be very important in taking out those pesky monsters with high health. So yeah, good luck to all of you. Again, if your teammates are buying in the fraternity event, you'll be getting a lot of sales for this monster as well, so be sure to rank her up. So yeah, that concludes my video. See you in the next one. Peace out.